Welcome back to another session of Understanding Human Anatomy. In this video, I plan to discuss the structure of the kidney. So let me start by drawing an outline of the kidney here. Like so. And what we're going to find, if we cut the kidney lengthwise, when we look inside, we'll see a cortex and a medulla. And the medulla is arranged in pyramidal shaped areas that are referred to as pyramids. And one of the characteristics of the pyramids, when you look at it with the naked eye, when you look at it grossly, is that the pyramids seem like they're striated or striped. Lines running lengthwise through the structure. And this is because all the structures in the pyramids, all the structures in the medulla of the kidney, are long, straight, tubular structures, and they run down. Many of them turn around and come back. Some just continue on through the pyramid. Structures that we see in the kidney pyramid are the collecting tubules. We see the Henle's loop structure. So it has a long descending limb, then a loop, then an ascending limb. And we have blood vessels in there that are called the vasa recti, that run down, make a U-turn, and come back up. In fact, it's only the collecting tubule that goes all the way through. Now, the ends of the collecting tubules open on the tip here of the pyramid, which is called the papilla, and what we'll see is the renal pelvis here in the beginning of the ureter. But we see a series of structures that come up and make contact with the tip, the papilla of each of the pyramids. And these are the calyces. So, We start with some of the names here. Put some labels in. We have the pyramids. The renal pyramid or medulla. I'm just going to draw the label line to one of them. We have the renal pelvis. We have the minor calyces. Again, I'm just going to label one. And that's the structure that surrounds the tip of the pyramid and receives the filtrate from it. And several minor calyces will empty into a major calyx, and then the major calyx empties into the pelvis, and then the pelvis narrows down into the ureter. Now, the area of the cortex, I'm going to just draw squiggles in to indicate the cortical tissue. And while everything in the medulla is parallel and straight, in the cortex everything is running every which direction. It looks very granular to the naked eye. I'm trying to give that impression with just the way I'm sketching things in here. Structures we have in the cortex would be the glomerulus and Bowman's capsule, and we would have the convoluted tubules. So what I've drawn in this kind of green color is the cortex. And again, kidney cortical tissue looks granular to the naked eye because everything's running every which direction. Now, we need to look at the vascular supply to the kidney. And what I'm going to do is draw in the renal artery, and bring it in like so. And the renal artery will divide into interlobar branches, and they always run between the pyramids. So I'm drawing in interlobar branches. Notice they never go through the pyramid, always between the pyramid. When the arteries get to the junction between the pyramid and cortex, they make an abrupt turn and become arcuate arteries. And the arcuate arteries run right on the border between cortex and medulla. Like so. And then from each of the arcuate arteries, interlobular arteries run through the cortex. And the interlobular arteries will give off branches going to the glomerulus, and those will be the afferent arterioles. Like so. So we'll put in some labels here. We have the renal artery, here. The interlobar arteries, and I'm just going to label one of them. And the interlobar arteries, as the name suggests, are running between lobes of the kidney. That's why they run between the pyramid. Each pyramid defines a lobe of the kidney. Then, when the interlobar artery gets to the junction between cortex and medulla, it turns approximately 90 degrees to become the arcuate artery. And the arcuate arteries are named because they are following an arching pattern. So I'll draw there. And then branching off of the arcuate arteries are the interlobular, between lobules, the interlobular arteries. And as I mentioned before, the interlobular arteries then give off the afferent arterioles, which bring blood to the glomerulus, and then the efferent arterioles bring the blood out of the glomerulus and through the rest of the arteries in the kidney. Now, there are veins that accompany the arteries. There's a renal vein, there are interlobar veins, there are interlobular veins. So I'm not going to draw in the veins, again, because it would just make it too hard to see. Just remember that there's companion veins for each of the arteries we've identified here. So the filtrate from the kidney flows through the convoluted tubules, through the loop of Henle, through the distal convoluted tubules, then through the collecting tubule down into the minor calyx. It flows in from the minor calyx to the major calyx to the pelvis, pelvis to the ureter, and the ureter carries it down to the urinary bladder. So this is the structure of the kidney that you can see with the naked eye, the gross structure of the kidney. In the next video, we'll complete our discussion of the retroperitoneal organs. Thank you for your attention.